Hey there tech fans, Rick here again from the OREI team with an overview of the BK-401A 4 input, 1 output 8K HDMI switcher with audio extraction capabilities. This product makes it incredibly easy for you to share the output from 4 different HDMI media devices with a single high-resolution monitor while providing complete control over which of those media streams is being displayed on the monitor at any given time by using the button on the front of the unit or the included infrared remote control. The product also provides audio extraction capabilities where it digitally separates the audio from the media stream being shared and allows you to pass it along through an optical SPDIF connection to a soundbar or home stereo for theater quality sound. The product fully supports 8K ultra high definition media content at up to 60 frames a second and is also HDMI 2.1 as well as HDCP 2.3 compliant, which means it's going to work perfectly fine with all of your modern media gear. Now, as part of this overview, I'd like to start with a quick unboxing just to show you everything that's included with the kit, and then I'll take a closer look at the BK-401A and explain the connections and indicators so you understand how to use it. I'll list the features and functions the product provides, and then I'll come back and do a short demonstration to show you just how simple this product will be to use with your own equipment. So let's get started with the unboxing. When you first open up the box, you'll find the BK-401A. You'll also find a single 5-volt 1-amp DC power supply. You can plug this end into any standard wall outlet. The other end of the cable has a barrel connection on it which plugs directly into the back of the unit and provides all the power you'll need for operation. You'll also find an RS-232 connection block because you can control the unit from a local computer through an RS-232 connection, and this connection block makes it easier to connect that computer to the unit. You'll find an infrared remote control as well to make your selections, and a full instruction manual is also included that lists connection diagrams, specifications, and a lot of other really important details you'll need to understand about the unit in order to use it correctly. Now, if you stay tuned next, I'll take a closer look at the unit, I'll list the features and functions, and then I'll do the demonstration. The OREI BK-401A features a full metal enclosure, which makes it the perfect choice for both residential and commercial installations. On the front of the unit, starting on the left, you'll find a power indicator. The minute you add power to the unit, it starts an internal power on self-test where it's checking the electronics to make sure everything's working okay. Once it passes that test, it'll light that LED letting you know the unit's ready to use. To the right of that are 4 LED indicators labeled 1 through 4 for HDMI input. These will indicate which of the HDMI inputs is currently being sent to the output. To the right of that is an infrared receiver window. That's where the signals from the remote control are picked up. So when you set this up in your media center, you'll want to have a clear line of sight to that window so you can use that remote control. To the right of that is a switch you can use to select which input is being sent to the output monitor. Simply by tapping that switch, you can walk through the 4 choices, then back to number 1. To the right of that is an RS-232 connection block. This allows you to program the unit and also select your inputs by connecting this directly to a local computer. On the rear of the unit, starting on the left, you'll find an SPDIF output. This unit provides audio extraction capabilities where it will separate the audio from the media stream being sent to the output monitor and then allow you to pass it along to a home stereo or soundbar through this digital connection. To the right of that is an upgrade port. It's a micro USB port that's used to update the firmware on the product later on if needed. You can simply connect this to your computer with a micro USB cable, move the firmware file to the BK-401A to complete that upgrade. To the right of that are 4 HDMI ports labeled HDMI in 1, 2, 3, and 4. These connect to the media devices that you'd like to share the content from with your output device. To the right of that is an HDMI output port. This connects to the monitor that you'd like to view the content from these input devices. These are all standard HDMI ports. Finally, to the right of that is a DC input port labeled 5 volts. That connects to the power supply. You can simply plug that power supply into any standard wall outlet. The other end of the cable has a barrel connection on it, which plugs in right there and provides all the power you'll need for operation. The OREI BK-401A is compatible with most modern HDMI media sources, including game consoles, media players like Apple TV, digital projectors, streaming devices, and computer systems. The product's features include full support of 8K ultra high definition media content. It provides 4 inputs and a single output. It is both HDMI 2.1 as well as HDCP 2.3 compliant. It features digital audio extraction and includes a remote control for easy selection of your inputs. Now I'll show you just how easy it'll be to use this product with your own equipment. And for this demonstration, I've set up 4 small media players over here. 3 of them are displaying a static image. 1 of them is looping a video with audio in the background. Over here, I've set up a high definition monitor and I have my soundbar right here. In front of me, I have the BK-401A. Now the first set of connections I'll make are from my media devices to the unit, and I've already connected up 4 high-speed HDMI cables to the devices, and I'll plug those into HDMI input number 4, number 3, number 2, and finally number 1. Now we can connect up our output display. I've got another high-speed HDMI cable connected to that, and I'll plug that into the HDMI output port in the back of the unit. And now we're all set to add power. I've already plugged in the power supply. The other end of the cable from that has a barrel connection on it, which plugs right into the DC input port of the back of the unit. And you'll notice the power indicator came on, and right now we're in input number 1, which should be the media player that's displaying that looping video. The unit starts a power on self-test the minute I add power to it. It checks the resolution of my output device and the resolution of the input devices to make whatever adjustments are needed to give you the best possible picture. And there we go. That's the first input, and that's the video. Now, if I'd like to switch to number 2, I'll tap the button, and again, I could use the infrared remote control as well. That gives me direct access to any of the inputs that are available. It takes a second again for it to check the resolution of the new input device and match it to the output device. And there you go, there's input number 2. Here's input number 3. And that couple of second delay between them, again, is for that adjustment because it's got to check the resolution and match it to the output. There's number 3. And finally, here's number 4. Now, what I like so much about this unit is that I have a button on the front, so if it's set up on my desk, I can tap the button. If I set it up in my media center, I have the remote control where I can sit back on the comfort of my couch and make those choices from that couch. Let me go back to input number 1 because I want to show you how the audio extraction capabilities work. Now this video that's going to come up in a second actually has a soundtrack behind it, but you can't hear that because the monitor doesn't have a speaker in it. I have a soundbar over here that I've got an SPDIF optical connection on the back of, and this audio extraction capability will separate the audio from that media that's being sent to the monitor and allow me to pass that along through an SPDIF connection on the back. So all I have to do is plug my soundbar to the back of the unit, and we should have audio in a second here. Just going to match up the SPDIF. There we go. And there you go. So what you're seeing here is an input device being shared to an output monitor along with 3 others, and I have a choice of which is displaying. But more importantly, the audio extraction capabilities can actually separate the video from the audio and pass the audio along to a soundbar so I can have wonderful sound while I'm watching my display. And it really is just that simple to get it working. I hope you found this overview of the OREI BK-401A helpful. It really does provide an incredibly easy way for you to share the output from 4 different HDMI media devices, like a DVD player, a computer, maybe a game console, or a streaming media player, with a single high-resolution monitor at the same time, while allowing you to easily select between those media devices for display in that monitor by tapping the button on the front of the unit or using the infrared remote control. And the unit also provides audio extraction capabilities, which will digitally separate the audio from the media stream being displayed and allow you to pass that along through an optical SPDIF connection on the rear to a local soundbar or home stereo for better quality audio. And the fact that the unit fully supports 8K ultra high definition media content at up to 60 frames a second, as well as being both HDMI 2.1 and HDCP 2.3 compliant, means it's going to work perfectly fine with all of your current media gear. And if you upgrade that gear later on to an 8K resolution, it'll work fine with that as well. Everything you need to get started is included with the kit, and with a few simple connections, you can be up and running in no time. So until next time, thanks again for watching.